There's nothing quite like a championship Sunday, is there? As we say good afternoon and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final round of the SIENA Open. Live from the SIENA Voluto in Gyeonggi. 4 rounds of 4. They will come to a close today. A week that has seen the return of the KLPGA Tour to Korean shores, and as is the case every single tournament, the stories are unknown, but we know they're out there and ready to blossom. And blossom they most certainly have done. Kochi One, a 2-time winner in 2025, has been our wire-to-wire leader. And as we begin our broadcast today, we can tell you that she has a 4-stroke advantage with just 10 holes remaining. Young Eugene, one of the young up-and-comers, is holding down second position with Sogyo Reem, 10 under, 4 back. And a bit of a whirlwind week for Sonia Bean. Started over par, had an astounding 65 in the second round, even yesterday, and +2 through 10 today, as they're down 5 positions from where she started, tied for 16th. And one of Kim So-ah, the amateur, an invited player, who so far this week has shot 68, 69, and 69. And I'm going to put my hand up on this one. I knew she was young. I knew she was a star for tomorrow. She was born in 2012, ladies and gentlemen, 14 years old. She's a middle schooler and is in one of the top positions on the top tour in Korean women's golf. That will make our following of her final round all the more special. Hanshi won 5 under par. Was in the featured group, I suppose is in the featured group, but she is very much not in contention thanks to a rocky front 9 thus far, +5. Had not been over par all week long. She is out of the top 10, tied for 13th. And here she is, Kim So-ah, 9 under par after 9 holes. Went out with a 37 and begins her back 9. A par 4 this 10th hole, 354 meters. Sent that drive of hers into the fairway. Consider how the round has gone, where she's been able to pick up strokes. Her approach game, strokes gained 4.49, top in the tournament. So play around the green, pitching wedges, and her driver off the tee that has been a bit of an undoing for her. So Gyorim also over par today. Started at 12 under, currently 10 under par. 100 meters on the nose to the hole, 50-degree wedge over the water. Trying to stay as close to the front left as she can. The pin 8 yards off the front, 6 yards from the left, pretty much exactly where that wedge shot was deposited. '97 for Kochi One. Okay, so our featured group on the green at 9. We'll skip ahead to 10, Young Eugene, starting this above the pin to the right, stopping inside the shadow of the flag for a 1-meter putt for par. wobbling all the way through. Back to young Eugene. And she's able to secure that par. Best finish in her career, a WPGA event in 2024, where she finished third. Off the green. Bending a whole lot as soon as it landed. Taking that line and scooting off to the left. Inside of a meter for the par. The course has been in beautiful condition for the first week of April. Helped out by quite a fair bit of snow. Pardon me, it's quite a fair bit of rain the past few days. Hunchy won. We'll be hoping to start a little run as she heads towards the back nine. Up its speed now. Does it have the legs? Not quite. Soi's approach, 108 out at 10. 2.5 meters above the pin when she makes contact with the ball. It's about pin high, but a long way to the pin's left. So Yorim for birdie. Currently sharing second. She'd like it outright and to start to close the gap. A double bogey at 6 was her big stumbling block on this front nine, but ends on a high. Nicely on. Par for Kochi one. All pars from the starter's pistol till now. 36 at the turn and is leading by 3 strokes. You say he's short on the approach at 10. Gonna lift this up and put it down in a hurry. With a little bit less carry, that break would have been more helpful than it ended up being. Amy Jung. +3 today, 68 on Friday, her biggest round of the tournament. +3 on Sunday. A few birdies she can target 4 under finish and get her inside the top 20. Gotta go one at a time. The big step in the right direction. Close call. Tip of the cap acknowledging the supporters. Hakim Soa. Just and only just missing out on her birdie. On. Under is what's on offer. Expecting this to look based on how she's got this lined up right to left from where we sit. That was the direction. She had a better angle. Didn't have the perfect angle, admittedly. Birdies at 3 and 9, and a bogey at 8. Here's Isahi. Started the tournament with 70. Friday, Saturday, pardon me, consecutive 68. She's 3 over after 9, though. Bogeys at 1, 3, and 8. This to save a par. She's got it.
기다리겠습니다.
So Gurim on the tee. Curving 14 meters, carrying 236 as that drive finds the fairway.
부탁드릴게요. 네, 알겠습니다.
And Coach, you won.
네, 자,
Earlier in the week, we were discussing that driver of hers. We know she's a power hitter. So far today, much better. Some time on the range paying off. .64% on Thursday. Moved to 79% on Friday. Similar on yesterday's outing, and today so far she has not missed a fairway. Example of how things are clearly not getting to her in terms of the pressure, while also maybe suggesting she knows she's got some breathing room and she can simplify things. Celebration after the sound of the ball falling in the hole. .4, it's a long way away for EA1, who was one of, and this is not a mistake, 3 players to ace yesterday. With Pak Sang-hyun and Coach Won. She actually had the first ace at the 7th hole. Knew she was going to grab her grand prize. Luxury sofa worth 23 million won. Surely thereafter, Coach Won did the same thing. Technically, the sponsor could have said we've committed to 1. We're not expecting 2 aces on the same hole on the same day, but they said, you know what, the right thing to do is to make sure they both get it. Kudos to them. One other birdie for EA1 yesterday and 4 bogeys. She dropped down to 16th position. Up 3 spots into a tie for 12th and is putting better today. Don't often get this perspective at 12th. This is what we've been referring to as the blind approach, with those trees blocking the view to the green. It's 151. Super talented Pak Sang-hyun. Stay close to the front of the green with the pin placement today, but didn't give it quite enough of a strike. Excellent birdie. First of the round as well for An Ji-hyun, who improves to 3 under par. for Amy Jung. It's unfortunately representative of how the round has gone so far. Hasn't been able to connect on her putts. And she won, approaching 10. Good depth. She's basically smack dab in the middle of the green.
들어가겠습니다.
Well, then about 4 meters beyond the pin. And a good look at a birdie with her next stroke.
들어가겠습니다.
Three meters out for Coach E1. $14 could very well be enough. Any opportunity to secure a couple more would cement what would be victory number 3. First of the season, of course. Hyun from the rough. We'll get up and down for a par. Trying to kickstart her game once again, Park Seung-hyun, and work back towards securing an LPGA card and get back to the big show. We will happily be the training ground for one of the Korean greats. Final round of the SIENA Open 2026. Coach E1, our leader, 14 under, playing on 10. Next closest competitor, her groupmate Sogyo Reem, with their on 10 as well. That's where we'll head when we return to the SIENA Voluto. welcome back. To the 10th green we go. And we join our leader, Coach Yuan. Long uphill putt for birdie. She knew the speed that was going to be necessary. Ever so slightly missing to the right. Lead to a head-scratching moment or two. And Bucks on Young, that's the par, the other side of the up and down. So Garim for a birdie and 12 under par. Can she take advantage of Coach Yuan's miss? Yes, again. So 12 under, back to back now after waiting patiently 8 holes. She's got her mojo at the start of the back 9. Awkward spot for Chung So-Yi. Right on the upslope, but despite the difficulties, she recovers incredibly well. Short distance required to finish off the hole. She's on to the next. How do you do 11? So we find Kim So-On now at the end of the lengthy par 5. She will just stay on the green, stopping right in line with the fringe. So Gilream, the hottest player on course in terms of her form. The momentum is on her side. Chi-Won needs to pick it up. She's not bogeying, she's not making any mistakes, but she's also not birdieing. Hoping to get back to make sure that lead doesn't dwindle any further. Chi-Won for the downhill stroke. From the back corner. So just skirts by the outside. Empire's on the trot now, still looking for that first birdie here on Sunday. Nine iron, Park Sang-hyun, 119 meters out, looking to the left side of this green. And that is absolutely not what she had in the plans. She's short and she's walking towards the green, which tells me it's not wet, which would be a lucky break, all things considered. Zoe, at long last, has her first birdie. Brings her back to 8 under par. That is 6th position at the moment. It's not just a slight miss, that was misjudged entirely. Fortunate one, that.
쌀국수 먹고 집 가면 쏘가 다르겠다. 지금 쌀국수 나온 거 찍어서 보내줘야 돼.
This is where the drive has ended up. She's got a tree in the way, the edge of the cart path to contend with as well.
빵? 노란색에서.
오빠 이 앞에 핀 좀 뽑아줘. 이 나무 앞에 있는 거랑 그 뒤에 뽑는데 얼마 나와?
일단 별까지는 221이거든? 어디까지 계산해줄까?
20 빼야지.
190?
80만 쳐도 돼?
응.
이거는 뭐? 괜찮아? 이거 쳐서?
그룹보단 나 너가 생각했을 때?
그것보단 나을 것 같아.
G1 has decided to play this off the cart path. Sparks fly. This is one of the bravest shots I've seen all week, and it ends up pretty spectacularly. .269, Coach E1 looking back down at the point of contact. That's usually not a great sign, and it does end up off the fairway. So Reem's second. She's the only one in the group that's not having any difficulties ticking around. Jung for birdie. Too generous the amount of space she gave the left of the hole. Second now for Young Eugene, 168. She has more than enough power to get there. And this is going to roll off the fringe beautifully. It's a candidate for a shot of the day, one that didn't end up in the hole. Hyun, 18 meters. She did avoid the water, needs to get up, but even more quickly she needs to get down from the sands to the top of the hillside. Didn't catch it quite sweetly enough. For She won her third now after that little misadventure. Kim So-ah. She's off and moving. Kochi one now. 84 meters away, playing from the rough. This is just divine. Green, can she follow suit? Not a bad effort by any stretch of the imagination, but we can just about counter out for birdie here. Beneath the pin, Sonia B gets her first of the day in rather dramatic fashion. Great to see the smile back on her face. She needed a shot like that to start to feel the confidence after an otherwise frustrating 2.5 hours. So with the front nine fully in the books and our coverage of the final round Sunday of the Siena Open 45 minutes along, we know a couple of things are true. First, that Kochi 1 has just the 2-stroke advantage, and second, that she is incredibly close and very likely to make a birdie when we come back from a quick break. That should, and should is the imperative word there, make it a 3-stroke advantage again. It will be 11 down, 7 to play. That's to come when we return to the KLPGA Tour. Back to business at the Siena Open. Chi Won will be the first to putt on the par 5. Pretty good on the face. How about excellent? Her first birdie as well, as many of the competitors start to come alive once again on the back 9. It is not a unique occurrence to struggle with the harder portion of the course, which has been the front all week. This to save a par for Park Sung-hyun. And just stopped short. She was in on a prayer the whole way. Takes her out of the top 10, tied for 15th, 4 under now. As expected, despite a decent attempt to putt. Young Eugene only 3.3 meters away. A little tap to get it started. Too much break for her. Okay, Coach Chi-won. There's her birdie. 15 under par. It took her 11 holes, but she's finally back in the birdie column. Kim So-ah. 9 under par, 181 meters away, but she didn't quite have that one solved. For Lee Ga-young at 1348-degree wedge. Make sure there was no doubt she had the club to get over the water. Quickly back to work. Coach Chi-won with the honor now. Tees off first at 12. 181 meters the carry. Not going for the full driver, clubbing down. Numbers to the eye test. So last but not least, ends up being 186 on the carry. From the fringe, 24 and 1/5. Chung So-Yi comes down the hill, will pick up a little more speed at the very end. Hound 2, 5 under par, playing on the 13th. And she moves inside of the top 10, tied for 9th, but she gets back to even. And full of holes to play. So similar distance as what Chung So-Yi just faced. This will be remaining for par.
저희 안전 때문에 막는 거니까 밑으로 내려가지고.
So Jean, 93, the first to approach the 13th, just a pitching wedge. Yeah, very good wedge control. And that's been some side spin, and that will be a no-doubt birdie. And the amateur now to save par, to stay at 9 under. A little bit more speed, and she might have been able to work through the break. Eugene over the water to the hillside fringe. So again, looking to bounce back after the bogey. Not going to come here. Be running out of steam at this stage of the tournament. desperation for Issei Heat. Desperately trying to avoid dropping down to 6 under. It would be another bogey on a day that has already seen 3 of them. That's an important one. No payoff this time round.
거기가 핀보다 왼쪽이야. 여기서 걷고 왼쪽 끝선 보이는 게 있어. 그 라인 상당히 핀이라고 그러나? 오빠 앞에. 170에 80 나와가지고.
Over the green wall, Han Chi-won. Even with the slightest headwind, there's nothing to throw her off. Coach Chi-won, 183. A little bit short, clears the rough. Make it to the green. She'll have to play a quick little pitch. So, last that drive. Six holes means she would need a whole lot of luck on her side to go on and catch Kochi 1, but the podium is very much still within reach. Soguri might be the only player who has a chance to keep up with Kochi 1. 3 back once again after parring the last, and this is a tough time to have a tough shot. She's not going to reach the fringe either, so she must putt. As we just discussed, 3 strokes is the gap between Kochi 1 and Sogyo Reem. Cho Ayeon through 16 is on pace for a 5 under. She has shot back up the leaderboard. Kim So-ah +2, Ise-hee, +3, and Chung So-lee +2 through a dozen holes on a Sunday on the KLPGA Tour. Getting back down to business with Coach Iwan and company. Hole number 12 will be 67% of the way through. Their rounds very, very shortly. So 77 meters, drops it in perfectly. So Gareem 14.6. And that goes about 18. Still has her work cut out for her a little bit. She's going to putt despite being in the rough. All the way up the hill. Tap. A understandably frustrated figure being cast. So for birdie, 8 under. So Gareem still a bit too early to sort of threaten the title with a miss here, but we're not far off that title either. Big time clutch putt. Corner of the green here at 13. Not quite going to make it. Par for Kochi won the leader. No change to the advantage. She's one hole closer to her ultimate goal. So looks on a bit perplexed. She's made longer putts than that many a time this week. Every one is an individual battle.
항상 거지. 너는 먹을까?
아 근데 몇 개는
다른 거 나가야 돼?
Park Sang-hyun. Short finish, a simple finish. Young Yojin 135, a long way to climb. And all the way to the back corner. Coach Yuan gesturing right, that's a bad sign. Yeah, he's scrambling to get out of the way. If you can get back on the cart path, that could have been something. All of these supporters are saying it's okay, we can see it, and also we're going to need to relocate in a moment.
들어가면 핸드폰 누르지 말아주세요. 네, 하겠습니다.
Also unable to take that drive into the fairways, so any momentary advantage that you might have had after Coach Yuan's miss has evaporated. So this is the fairway altogether, but her end result is the sand trap. On 18, 9 under par. A birdie would take her to a tie for third provisionally. She goes closest to the pin from her group.
자, 갤러리
더
뒤쪽으로 좀
가셔야 돼요.
빠져주세요.
더 가세요.
자, 갤러리 뒤쪽으로 좀 빠져주세요.
일로. 아니요, 더 가셔야 돼요.
Beautiful perspective on the wonderful weather day this afternoon is turning into. Also, how precarious this line will be.
카운터 내려오는
여기 성공이. 핀 우측으로 잘 받아주니까 잘 써.
Comes close to the rubbish receptacle, and maybe there was some bad karma from that position because the shot was one that would belong in the bin and two, unfortunately. No doubt a tough lie, but she hasn't improved her situation in the slightest.
앞으로는 들어가. 앞은 버려. 토대라서 앞이 짧으면 그냥 X까지야. 괜찮아. 우측으로, 확실하게 우측으로 그냥 85. 얘밖에 5발이야.
Well, from just a few feet away from the water to a comfortable spot on the green, she'll take it. To the wind and stopping a 1.5 feet short. And now a close call to left breaking. To positively impact the score. Out comes the flag for a moment. The tap in. And the end of the round for Cho Ayon. A torrid 31 on the way out. And the 9 straight pars. Fresh off the day. She's getting a bit of a frustrated figure. Shouldn't be though, considering she started today in 20th and is currently tied for 4th. In with that 67. Soat now to +2, Issei now to +3, and Hanchi 1 to +4. Some heavy hitters heading into this championship round, stumbling a bit as we near the midway mark of our broadcast this afternoon. The final round of the Siena Open 2026 will resume after the break. And welcome back. So we saw just before we stepped aside, her drive at 14 end up in the sand. Wasn't quite the recovery she was hoping for. I'm wondering if she caught the top of the bunker on the way out. Over to 13, Coach E1. Long walk around for our leader. She will not be improving on her score here. As a result, she goes down, back down to 14, making the door slightly ajar for Sogyo Reem. Hyun. With a thud. See just how. That is a proper beach. I know we use it as an endearing nickname, but that sand trap is absolutely gigantic. Kim So-ah only 35 meters away. Here comes just not enough speed. Couldn't have projected a much better putt than that. Disappointing to not get there. So downhill and down into the hole. Gallery rightfully roars for that one. He claims number 2 last strokes on the day. Young Eugene at 15, 6 iron. She disappears down into the sands. And that one will also make for a happy sound. Well done, Chung Soo-hee. Five holes to go. 2 strokes separating Coach E1 from Sogyo Reem. Nice to see that the decisive misdrive a couple of holes back wasn't indicative of a permanent change, just a minor hiccup.
가겠습니다.
Next on the tee, Sogyo Reem.
Okay.
This is looking right. A little bit deceiving, the telestration. It ends up being just a completely fine drive. Nothing to worry about in retrospect. This is a putt that is about 25 meters long. Don't tell Amy John the odds. Finishes the tournament at even. 3 bogeys and a double on the front, 2 bogeys on the way in, and 3 birdies today, which is exactly where she started 96 hours ago. Amy Jung in the clubhouse. We can open the highlight vaults. Back to some of the shots and some of the proof on how the day is faring. Visually striking hole, this over the water. Certainly a test.
뭐 없지?
어?
뭐 없지?
어.
Back to the present. From the fairway, Han Chi-won will shoot first. 137, 13 yards to play. Bit of a tailwind helping to cancel out the change in the elevation. Ji-won was a few yards further forwards. Long drive, iron shot. She also goes way too far. Be curious if she decides to try to punt that. She'll have the option, of course, to pull the pitching wedge out as well. No option to punt this. Your understatement of the day, Young Yo-ji from the sand at the 15th. She's going to get a nice rollout through the fringe. Tries to get up and down on the par 3 and avoid a bogey. Sogyo Reem closest to the pin in this trio. Nice adjustments made with the conditions. Each and every day it has seemingly got blustier. Gusts and the wind speeds picking up closer to sunset day in and day out this week. Young Eugene occupies third all by herself. Saves a par despite a trip to the bunker. Probably a cloud in the sky today, 17 degrees Celsius. The action on course is heating up as well. Back with more from the Siena Open in just a couple of minutes. Getting into the home stretch for our featured group, the winner will certainly come from Koshiwon or Sogyo Ream. We just don't know who yet. And I'll tell you, as this ball continues to roll on a misjudged and overhit putt for birdie, we could be in for a thrilling Final Four. Chung So-lee, 6 iron. We'll play par 3s here at 15 and 17. 150 meters, pin placement on the far right of the green today. And That's about as good as you can stroke it off the tee here. Hardly a bad view anywhere on this golf course. Certainly when you have the benefit of climbing 50 feet in the air. Gaze upon the mountains behind the trees, it looks a postcard. Don't think even with some imagination, Coach Yuan's expecting this to fall. She just needs to be close. 6.6 meters, trying to save a par. She gave it a good go. Back-to-back bogeys, some drama. Coach Yuan had been as steady as you could possibly hope for in her position at this stage in the tournament. That's why we have to play all 72 holes. Kim So next up on the par 3. Also going with the 6. Wide right.
그 큰형과 근처도 못 갔죠.
So Reem couldn't take advantage. Just by virtue of not bogeying, she will still improve her standing. Yusoyeon 2 gets back to even par with her final swing of the day. She finishes the tournament 5 under. That is tied for 13th position as she exits the course. Kim So-ah off the green to about 1.5 meters. Park Sun-hyun just about misses out on the birdie. So we can hardly believe it. Kim Min-ju looking at a par. Once they get the ball marker out, that's never a good sign. Smiles for Kim So-up. Off the green to a 2-putt par. He's marching on towards what has felt inevitable, but a career best nevertheless. Issei teeing off on the 16th. Five iron for Han Chi-won, looking for a little extra carry at the par 3. Good depth.
시작했습니다.
So Gil-reem also with the 5. Hermes was right and is down the hill into the rough.
네, 알겠습니다. 동영상 미리 좀 부탁드릴게요.
Down to the final 3. The last par 5 is a officially underway. Kim Soa and Co. Kochi 1. 4-iron. None of the three really seeming to crack this nut of a hole. One misses left, one misses right, and one misses long. So Jean, meanwhile, showing no such difficulties with her approach game from the rough to about 4 feet. And the green at 60. It'll be interesting to see how these next few shots play out for Kochi 1 and Sogyo Reem. Neither in an enviable position on the 15th, and only one stroke now separating the two. It's going to come down to the final hour. There's no doubt about it. Lots still to be decided as we get closer to tying a bow on the very first Siena Open, our second event of the season and first in Korea in 2026. Just as we reach the 3 o'clock hour, finish the 3 o'clock hour, 2:59 p.m. local time, everything will be decided. The SIENA Open in these next 45 minutes or less, unless playoff is needed, and that would have been a wild thought even 45 minutes ago. Jean looking for answers, so she missed a golden opportunity for a birdie. Now that we're expecting coaching one to bogey, a birdie there could have thrust her back into contention. G1 trying to bounce back after the bogey, but she's not quite going to have the distance to get there. Two putts for the par. Holding on to the slimmest of leads. So a Jean. Same position now as when she started the day. Now we can officially move her up. Tied for 7th. Tied for 8th with that birdie, her 3rd of the back 9. This means one more in the final 2 holes to see even for this Sunday afternoon. Silvia needs this par to keep the pressure on. Excellent. Down to the final 3. The difference is 1. The par 5, a par 3, and a par 4. Hopefully determine the champion in 72 holes. So at 246. Look at that. Basically on the green in 2 strokes. Trying to get up and down for a birdie from that position.
네.
엣지 110.
동영상 리뷰 좀 부탁드릴게요.
That is Ideon. Celebrating the end of the round. Coach E1 is not sure how she'll be feeling at the end of the round. lead at one point was 4 strokes. That should be more than enough for anyone on a Sunday. But of course, this sport is played on grass and not on paper. Still controls her own fate. As mentioned, this is the 3rd shot on the par 5 for Kim So-ah from the opposite corner of the green. Admittedly, a little bit slower than she wanted it to be. She'll be content to see the ball stay where it landed.
네, 하겠습니다. 자.
231 meters on the carry for Sogyurim off the tee. And hardly any left to right movement at all, just 1 meter of curve. Sehi down the hill, picking up plenty of pace. She needed that for birdie. Go to 17 now. So a G. The 8 iron. Pins 11 yards off the front, and close to the middle widthwise, and she nearly ran your bed for hole-in-one rewards. Over Stardust for ending her tournament. Kim So-ah, not quite enough speed to secure her birdie, which will feel like a disappointment considering her first 2 strokes. G1 second of the par 5, skips into the rough. Back to 17. Eugene. She really had clubbed down to a 9-iron. She'll be thinking about that decision on the way down the hill. Sonia Bean, one last chance to improve on her score. To settle for par. No closer to a resolution, though, for many on page 2 of the leaderboard and beyond. They know their fates already. More and more groupings headed to the clubhouse after 72 holes. Still much to be decided at the Siena Open. To finish 72, she would have been absolutely certain that she was going to finish 72 strokes in even par round. Instead, she's over par for the only time this week after that miss. 73 takes her out of the top 10, tied for 13th. Much to the disappointment of her legion of supporters. Eugene. Long first putt and a short putt remaining for par. Coach G1, 98 meters. Needs this for herself in a big way. Put it in close, revert back to the approach game, which has been so strong for her all week. Try to recapture control of her own destiny here.
하겠습니다.
79 meters of these 503 remaining. It's calm, but the nerves are high. Didn't get the backspin to dig in. If she had done, it would have been a tap-in birdie. She'll have to work for it even more now.
감사합니다. 조심하세요. 감사합니다.
misplayed putt. Eugene, it's the par.
하나 빼고.
66 meters for Hun-Chi Won, the last to attack the pin on the par 5, and attack it she most certainly does. Kim So-a's 9-iron off the tee. Is there a birdie from that trio? We'll just have to wait and see. No change to the top spots. Kochi Won, Sogyo Rim both on the green on 16. Young Eugene through 17 holes on to the 18th and final now. She's 3 back. Things are a lot more settled on page 2. Chun Ye-sung confirmed 70. Iche and Tua confirmed 68 to move her way up towards the top 15 at the Siena Open. A break and more on the other side when we return to the KLPGA Tour. Back to it then. After the par. Tokyo Ream, this is Kim So with a triumphant moment on the penultimate hole. After 16 holes of patiently waiting and 2 bogeys in the process, the amateur improves to a tie for 4th position. And remind you, she's just 14 years old. Unbelievable. Coach E1, what could this do to the fates of this tournament? 3.2 meters for birdie, yes! Desperately needing that to return to even par for the day. And recapturing the control of her own destiny and an opportunity for a 180 million won payday. Okay, she's not going to be left behind. Let's go to 17 with our featured group. Let's go to 18 with Soa Jean while we wait for them to arrive at the tee. 124 and a 7-iron. Push of the breeze at her back. It's a little bit deeper than what would have been prescribed.
살짝 7시, 8시 SW.
플레이하겠습니다.
And she won. Must have felt like a relief to pick up her birdie. On a day where little has gone right for her, she has 2 birdies now on the back 9 and 2 holes to play. Young Eugene with the 9. It's more than adequate. Coach E1 missing out on the green. She refuses to make this straightforward for herself. So Gilream 9-iron. Kim So-up with her first shot disappears as well over the hillside by the trees.
들어가겠습니다.
Next on the tee, Jung Sui skips by the rake and rolls up the hill.
그래 낫겠어.
Drama on that drive. And away they go. Kochi one from the green side bunker. That is what's left for par, and it's certainly no guarantee. So Gene to finish at 7 under par. It's gonna go. It's going to go. What a final 9 for the tournament. After going out with a 40, you wouldn't have blamed her for packing it in. Recovers in the best way and picked up birdies for fun. So Gilream. We could have a tie at the top if this goes. We could have a tie. That close. Was that the tournament? Especially with Coach Yuan likely to bogey here. That could have been for the tie. This crowd has been absolutely marvelous. You can tell they missed the KLPGA Tour. Coach Yuan must make this to avoid a bogey. If she makes it, she's probably won it. But she wanted to add just a dash of spice as we march on to 18. Young Eugene with an even par 36 on the way in to conclude her tournament. She could hit some pretty exceptional heights this season. Promoted to the big show, tied for 43rd at the Ridge Run Championship. Rather loud statement of intent, pardon me. The rest of the tour to here, provisionally third after 18 holes. She makes this putt. Carry a one-stroke advantage to the 72nd hole. If she misses, it will be even Steven. Okay. After 71 holes and a third bogey today, Coach Yuan still, by the slightest of margins, controls her destiny. She will be replaying that missed birdie for the next couple of minutes and again for probably the remainder of the evening. Actually comes up on a stroke short. Still not quite ready for the tee shots. Let's go to the green in the interim. Kim So-ah. Well, what a week. One that certainly this youngster will not soon forget. We never want to run the risk of putting too much pressure on these young stars. They face enough from themselves, their team, their supporters, their family. But you have to wonder, if she's putting in performances like this at 14 years old, what do the next few years hold? Where will she be in 4, 5, 6 years? And she won on the tee blocks. Big bounce into the sand trap, I believe.
하겠습니다.
Sogyo Reem. She can just focus, get the blinders on. Needs a birdie, and maybe she got a little too aggressive. Understanding what the math would require to take the win. Coach Ji-won doesn't need to reinvent the wheel here. She's the only one from the 3 in the fairway. As she marches down to prepare an approach shot, she could be just 5 minutes away from career win number 3. Kim So-ah, it's just another step on her continued ascendancy. A player that picked up a golf club during her 4th grade winter break. Wanted to be a pianist before, now she wants to be a pro golfer. Modeling her game after her idol, she says, Hung Yoo-min. She is rubbing shoulders with them now already. At 13 years old, the 18th hole of a tournament, she hit a drive on the 18th, 280 yards, and the crowd gasped. I don't think that was the first, and it certainly won't be the last time that she gets a crowd to gasp over the course of her career. Fabulous story amongst the many this week.
오지훈이 하나 잃었네.
25.
어디 해라.
There's our targets.
근데 먼저 치려나?
6 more shots combined. And we'll be through 72 holes. Will we need more? The gallery widening and following in. Our final group today. First on the green, and now Coach G1. And slightly right, but it's fading. Back towards the middle, closer to the pin, and then it catches the downhill and carries itself back down closer to the front. Can I handle 2 putts from there, she's thinking? I think she can. Many in this gallery surely think she can as well.
알겠습니다.
Sugio Reeve, 109 meters out. Closest to the pin and then some. It's still no gimme. We most certainly will never say never.
더 시에나 오픈 2026을 함께 해주시는 갤러리 여러분 대단히 감사합니다. 이제 챔피언조가 18번 그린을 향해 이동하고 있습니다. 한 선수 소개할 때마다 따뜻한 격려의 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
As the final 3 are announced as they arrive at the 18th green.
KLPGA 투어 2패에서
As to how
프라이드 참 잘하는 집
we got
소속의
our
한지원
player
프로입니다.
closest to the pin.
마지막으로 2024년 KLPGA 2패 삼천리 골프단 소속의 서교린 프로를 소개합니다.
자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Let us begin. And she won. Furthest from the pin and the first to play. Tied for 7th. Could tie Chung So-hee if she could somehow find a way to sink this 15.6 meter putt. She nearly does it. Quite simple. A hole out wins it. 2 putts guarantees at least a playoff, but even then, it still might be enough. It's Coach Chi-won, our leader, for birdie and the title. Just past the right. Let's take you back to round number 3. Big moment on the 18th hole yesterday. Beautiful, isn't it? Can she possibly muster another? Coach Chi-won still needs to confirm her par, but in almost every likelihood, Seo Rim needs this birdie to send us to a playoff. Misses. Well, she gave it an absolutely incredible run. 69, 69, 66, and a 72 today. Seo Rim finishes 1 shy of a playoff here at the SIENA Open. 3rd time in her career that she will have finished 2nd. Both of those results last year, the S-Oil Championship and the K-Food Nobu Hwami Masters. She's the 83rd ranked player in the world, and that number's likely to increase next week. She missed the cut 2 weeks ago in Thailand, and as she returns home to Korea, she returns to the winner's circle. Winner of the S-Oil Championship and the 12th Jeju Samdasu Masters a year ago. she can add the Siena Open 2026 to her CV. Kochi 1 wins the inaugural playing of this event with a final score of 13 under par, a wire-to-wire victory. Spare thought for Han Chin-won, who dazzled at times this tournament, certainly in the heart of it. 67 Saturday, 68. So 68 yesterday, 67 on Friday. A 71 in the opener and a 75 today. She'll share a top 10 finish. And now Kochi 1 can celebrate her victory here at the Siena Voluto. For her. Her first hole-in-one ever in her lifetime yesterday. If you're wondering how can she top that, well, we just got our answer.
잠시 안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 잠시 후
잠깐만, 그다음에 조금 저쪽으로 갈게요. 카페트 깔아야 돼서.
그린에서 바로 진행될 예정입니다. 갤러리 여러분께서는 끝까지 함께해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
The band is playing, the photos are being snapped, and Kochi 1 will long wear that smile. What a relief it always is. People who might just have ambitions of great success and repeated success over the course of the season. Winning in week 2 is a pretty great way to do it. Conclusion of the event, the awards ceremony is being prepared. We can take a look at the final leaderboard. Kochi 1 a winner by 1 stroke despite being over par today. Sogyo Reem finishes second at 12 under. Yang Yo-jin, a fabulous performance for the youngster. Sole possession of third at -10. And how about Kim So-ah, 14 years old, an invited player. The amateur shoots a 73 today, but still ends up in a tie with Cho Ayeon for fourth, 9 under, 68, 69, 69, and a 73 her tournament. Just absolutely remarkable for the middle schooler. Further down the leaderboard, we see some struggles for the likes of Lee Se-hee, Han Chi-won, Mata Som, and Lee Ga-young, all +2 or tougher today. And a word on Cho Ayeon, who saved her best round for Championship Sunday. She shoots a 67 to climb 16 positions and finishes in a tie for fourth. 5 birdies on the day and 13 pars for Cho Ayeon. But nobody from 120 was able to match what Kochi 1 was able to do. Parred the first 10, birdied 11, birdied 16, and despite focus at 13, 14, and 17, hangs on to be the winner. So for us, it's time to say goodbye. A reminder of the upcoming tournament that begins on Thursday, the IM Financial Group Open. Another 120 players in the field. Kim Min-ju, the defending champion, another 1 billion won up for grabs at Gulf Zone County, Sunsan. I've been Adam Jenkins saying goodbye as we cast our gaze towards the crowning moment for Coach Iwon, a third professional victory. What a week it was indeed. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again very, very soon on the LPGA Tour of Korea.
안녕하세요. 네, 감사합니다. 오늘 정말 18홀 내내 긴장하면서 쳤던 것 같아요. 안 그러려고 했는데 이 코스가 워낙 방심하면 안 되는 코스고 또 교림이가 워낙 또 잘하는 선수다 보니까 계속 긴장하면서 쳤어요. 그리고 피니치가 4일 내내 너무한 것 같아요. 네. 아, 그래요? 아, 네. 솔직히 말하면 수비적인 전략을 별로 좋아하지 않는 편이고, 안 그러고 공격을 하고 싶었는데 피니치가 너무 살벌하다 보니까 어쩔 수 없이 무리하면 안 되니까 돌아가는 방향으로 선택을 한 거고요. 퍼터가 잘 세이브 해주니까 잘 풀린 것 같아요. 네. 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 심리적인 변화는 솔직히 18월 내내 제가 아까부터 긴장했다고 한 것부터 변화는 없었어요. 근데 저는 그러니까 그러니까 머리는 그냥 즐기자 이러는데 마음은 나 진짜 죽겠다, 막 토할 것 같다, 막 이러고 있고, 그래서 그냥 최대한 유지하려고 티 안 내려고 쭉 했어요. 네. 어떤 마음으로 임하냐면은 진짜 물론 너무 우승하고 싶죠. 진짜 미치도록 하고 싶은데 이게 쫓으면은 안 되는 걸 너무 느껴가지고요. 거의 내려놓고 들어와요. 그냥 계속 1라운드 치듯이. 네. 네. 네, 네, 네. 네, 네. 네, 네. 네. 언니 뭐 긴 말 안 하고 좋으니까 화이팅 하고 오고 싶었는데 몸이 안 좋아서 못 왔다고. 네. 그래서 제가 잘 지켜보라고 했어요. 네. 네. 네네. 네, 전지훈련 때 그 삼천리의 이만득 회장님이 정말 좋은 골프장에서 약간 여러 골프장에서 라운딩 할 수 있고 훈련할 수 있는 그런 좋은 기회를 주셔가지고 정말 그게 도움이 많이 됐어요. 이 자리를 빌려서 감사하다고 꼭 말씀드리고 싶어요. 네. 네네, 감사한 분. 일단 우리 부모님, 그리고 우리 가족들 다 너무 감사하고요. 감사한 분들이 너무 많은데, 제가 지금 생각나는 분만 얘기해볼게요. 네. 일단, 저희 의류사 풋조이 너무 감사드리고요. 타이틀리스트도, 그리고 시라타 그룹 대표님이랑 이사님이 그 내내 갤러리를 해주셨는데 너무 힘이 돼서 감사하다고 꼭 말씀드리고 싶고, 저희 제주개발공사 또 감사드립니다. 네. 네, 네. 네. 감사합니다.
기다려주신 갤러리 여러분 대단히 감사합니다. 먼저 인사드리겠습니다. 여러분 안녕하세요. 더 시에나 오픈 2016 시상식 사회를 맡은 저는 아나운서 홍재경입니다. 반갑습니다. 네, 감사합니다. 정말